Alright guys, I'm back with the amps now. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I have amps wise. That's my wiring right here. This is like audio pipe 8 gauge wiring right here. And this is Rockford Fosgate. You see it's like braided line. Rockford Fosgate 4 gauge. And that's good stuff right there. Right now I haven't even got the wiring that my truck yet, because right now I have 6 gauge. Go ahead and pull out these bad boys. This thing's heavy. Alright, these are the amps I have right here. That thing's heavy. Alright. I got a Sony Explode 600 watt amp. Nothing special. I got this for Christmas. It's a 4-channel amp. 600 watts. This one is a JBL amp, which is a really good amp. Go ahead and put that to the side. This is a really good amp. If you're running 212s, it might be a little bit much, because when you turn up that the power or the protect mode comes on, this lights up red right here, and it's orange, but it lights up red. And this is like a like a mono block amp, I guess, or 2-channel. It has 2 channels. This is just because I was missing a screw, and that's how I got it. Has a spot for 6 gauge or 4 gauge, I think, wire right here. Sounds really good. That's a really good amp, especially it's small. Like this one's even small, but this pushes out good power. And this is my Logic amp. It's one of my first amps. I think it's actually my first amp. And this is a 1400 watt amp, and it's for mids and highs, because see, it has a crossover back here. All that good stuff. It's 2 ohm stable. You can see it scratched off. It's 2 ohm stable, 4 ohm high power, 2 ohm stable amplifier. It's a Logic Sound Lab. No, it's not that great a name brand. It has really nice fans in it. I don't think all 3 of them are fans, but this one's a fan. I think I don't know, they all might be 3, but I'm not sure. But this is a 4-channel amp for mids and highs, and that's like for 8 gauge wiring, but I put 6 gauge in it. Alright, now with this amp. This is a 1400 watt amp, and I have a Kenwood, which is a good name brand. I have that in my truck right now, and it's an 1800 watt amp. It's like the same thing as this, but it's like a monoblock. It's 1800 watts max, and it's 4 ohm stable, 2 ohm stable, and 1 ohm stable. But this is 1400 watts, which is 400 less. Run the same gauge wire in it, and honestly, I like this amp a lot better. This Logic amp better than that Kenwood. I don't know the model name right, or like the model number. I'll check it later when I do a video. But it's a good amp. It has good power, but it only has a good power for so long, because it cuts off because it gets overheated. I'm only pushing like 212s on it, nothing huge and like that. But especially with these fans on here, this keeps it a lot cooler than that Kenwood does, because the Kenwood fans are really small on there. So yeah, I think I might go back to this amp, just because it's just, the other one's supposed to be 1 ohm stable, and if you run it in 1 ohm stable, I haven't tried that, but it probably lasts like 10 seconds. And 2 ohm, if you have it all the way turned up, it only lasts about 2 minutes. 4 ohm even cuts off too if you have it turned up on 4. Turn it up with 4 ohms on it. But yeah, I like this amp better. It's a lot bigger and a lot bulkier and heavier. It's crazy compared to the Kenwood, because Kenwood's about the same size as this Sony is, and it's lightweight. but it's nicer too, obviously, because this is the older one. But I kind of like this better because I actually ran 3 subs at 2 ohms before, and that's the only time it cut off. But, I mean, that's kind of a lot, for an amp, 1401 amp like this. But it actually, this amp really impressed me. I haven't ran mids or highs off it, just subwoofers for lows, and but yeah, and and another thing I'll talk about is I had this amp in my truck, and I also had this amp, and I had fit both these in the Silverado. I have 8 gauge running back, and I had a power distributor, and I had 6 gauge going in, 1 6 gauge going out for this amp, and an 8 gauge going out for this amp. And this for people who want to hook up 2 amps with the stock battery and the stock alternator, mainly stock alternator. You're probably best off not to do that unless you're running like for highs. That's not going to get that voltage drop. But yeah, I ran the Sony. I'm planning to put that back in for my mids and highs. Being it's 4-channel, I'm gonna run it to all 4 of my door speakers, and I'm probably gonna I'm not sure yet, put this back in for my sub, my 2 12s. But what I was gonna do is I was gonna hook this amp up to 2 of my 12s underneath my back seat, and I was gonna hook this up to a sub that was going in my bed because I have the bed cover on there. So that's what I was gonna do. But for now, I was putting it in the truck, because I didn't run that wire back there yet. So I had 3 12-inch subs, and I already get enough voltage drop with this, especially the Kenwood amp. It gets a lot of voltage drop. But if I know, a lot of bass heads already know this and stuff like that, obviously. But I learned a lot of stuff from experience. And for people who are just getting into it, if you have 2 amps and you're looking to hook it up, and both for subs, 1400 watt amp, 600 watt amp, whatever you got. If you already get, voltage drop with this, either way, you're going to be losing power. But if you hook this up and this amp up, and you're running this to subs and you're running this to subs too, then you're gonna be losing a lot of power from this amp to power this amp. Even if you have a better battery, like an Ultima, which is what I got. I have an Ultima battery yellow top with a stock alternator. It's like a 105 watt amp alternator, something like that. Well, when you hook this amp up, you're going to be losing a lot of power from this amp. So you're going to be losing, a lot of bass from your 2 12s that you already had in when you put this amp in. So basically, you're just going to be losing room because it's kind of equaling out because you have 3 subs, but you're taking power from these 2 subs from your battery and your alternator. Because really, it doesn't matter what gauge. It does matter what gauge wire you have running. But the big thing is what your alternator put out, and alternators are expensive, but high output ones are. But yeah, if you hook up this and this amp and you're running both for subs, you're gonna be losing a lot of power from this amp, and this sub's not gonna sound as loud as you think. And just because it says 600 watt, 600 watt, doesn't mean you're gonna be getting 600 watt RMS. Probably won't even be getting half of that. Probably less than half of that if you have it hooked up to power distributor with the amp, like 1400 watts or 1000 watts or higher. That's just, you're gonna be, and that kills your alternator too. Unless you want to run a second battery, which is still, you might get that voltage drop, because when I have an 1800 watt amp hooked up, my voltage drops from 14.5 to about 10 or 11 volts, and I try not to keep it like that anymore. I keep the gain turned down on it. Sorry for my voice. But yeah, so I suggest you save up some money for a better alternator, and you wait for that if you're going to install 2 amps with that high power. Unless you're running mids and highs, which isn't bad. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of what I have. You saw the subs, and I got some more too. I can't think of it right now, but this is what I got in my room. And yeah, but Logic Sound Labs is a pretty damn good brand. A lot of people, buy more name brands and don't worry about other ones. But Logic Sound Labs is a really good brand amp, and I suggest it. This is older amp though, so they make newer things a lot different. This is a good amp. So is the JBL. Sony's good too. Haven't really got to use it to its full potential yet. It's like brand new. So but yeah, if you got a Kenwood amp, I had some problems with those. So I don't know. Don't like say, oh, I had no problem with mine. That's great, but I'm just telling you my experience from, and yeah. So I'll be doing more videos. This took a lot longer than I expected, and but yeah. So thanks for watching my videos, and comment, rate, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll be having some more videos coming soon on my truck and update on it. So I gotta get it cleaned up because I went by mudding the other day when it was raining. We got a lot of rain here. So yep, that's my video, and that's it. Thanks, guys.